Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much, sir, for such a generous introduction. And I am privileged to be here and presenting a paper on Indus Valley Civilization. The august presence of an eminent international scholar like R.Balakrishnan-Presentation. And I am also thankful for the presence of Sri Gopal Swami, former Chief Election Commissioner of India, and Mr. Sankar, former Chief Vigilance Commissioner of India, and many dignitaries and scholars and friends. I remember that sometime in the late 80s, I took an appointment with Mr. Muthiah and met him in Chennai's courthouse. Then I was telling you that I had come across a place named Kamili in Orissa, and I am conducting a research based on such names. Then at that time he suggested me that at some point of time you should direct your focus on Indus Valley. That's it's nearly about 2 decades now that I have the fortunate occasion to make this presentation before him, what he told me sometime in the late 80s. What do we call this? And this particular is a map which I have generated based on K.K. Pillai, reprint 2002. That book. He has put a map in Tamil, I have read it in English. This is Pandi Nadu, Chola Nadu, Uttanadu, Chera Nadu, Udil, Venadu, Vaikai, Madurai, Kodayu, Kaveri, Karu, Kopu, Kosa, Tundi in the west coast and Tundi in the east coast, Banji, Kusuri, Kumari, Aruva, Vadalai. What do we call this map? The geography of ancient Tamil history. Then what do we call this map? Tundi, Tungar, Murai, Karu, Kanji, Tundri, Kurkai, Vanji, Cheran, Pandian, Chola, Kallu, Kosa, Nochi. This is Nochi of Nochi Niyamam, Vanni, Edam, Yalu, and Pudini. And all the names, what do we call these? For the time being, I would like to call moderately and cautiously as a KVT complex, Kokkai Vanji Tundi complex. Because I don't want to jump saying that this is the prehistory of Tamil, Dravidian, Tamil. I am not coming to that at all. I would like to, in a very, very moderate way, would like to call this as the Kokkai Vanji Tundi complex. I have not even included Madurai in it, in this KVT. I am from Madurai, I was tempted to do that. But I have consciously not done it because there is a possibility of somebody making a counter claim about Madurai being from kind of etymology from Mathura. Though I know that Muthiah has clearly made it that it is from Mathirai, from Mathil, and also the early inscription in Tamil also write that as a Mathirai, not as a Mathura. But nevertheless, I have not included that. I would prefer to call this as a KVT complex. This presentation is about investigating what is this KVT complex is all about, how it came, what is its implication on Indus Valley research, and what is its implication on understanding the prehistory and origins of Dravidian. The most plausible, the Dravidian hypothesis remains the best working hypothesis for deciphering the Indus Straits, no doubt about that. There are many claims, starting from Austro-Asiatic and Indo-Aryan, and many claims are there, but it is considered. All these scholars admit one thing, is that whether they agree with the final thesis or not, they say that this is the best working hypothesis. The issue of Dravidian authorship of IBC is inevitably and inalienably linked to the debate on northwestern origins of Dravidian. I quote here the Kamil Swarangal. He locates for sitting sometimes around 4000 BC in the rugged mountainous areas of northeastern Iran, and estimates the importance, even a lead role in the ethno-linguistic composition of the Indus Valley people. I am only quoting Kamil Swarangal because I want to be economic number of slides, because many scholars have spoken about that. Notwithstanding the multidisciplinary evidence that support DX, that is, there is a Dravidian hypothesis, the popular discourse, interestingly, still revolves around the presence of a language and the absence of an animal. The Brahmini problem and the problematic horse, which all of you are aware of. Harappan civilization did not suffer a sudden death. It gradually declined. Harappan traditions continued without a break, becoming transformed gradually into the various late Harappan cultures. If the authors of IBC were Dravidians, in which one of the contemporary Dravidian cultures the remnants of Indus was can be anticipated? That is the question. Suppose we claim that Indus was a Dravidian civilization. The natural question that comes is that where do you locate? Where do you anticipate? That is the question. So normally the tendency to anticipate and locate the Brahmi language, which is located somewhere in the vicinity of Indus Valley, that is in the Balochistan. But that argument itself becomes a weakness. They point out about the great contrast between the highly developed city civilization of Mohenjo-daro and the wandering tent life of the hill Brahmis. Dennis Bray, 1934, makes the Brahmi problem more of a problem than a solution. That is the reason it's called Brahmi problem. People are amazed at how the Brahmi came. And then when we make a claim that it's a Dravidian civilization, Dravidian remnant there, then compare that to what is Brahmi, what is the Indus Valley. 4,000 years back, such a great civilization, how do you compare that with Brahmi? Then the question comes, is there any other claimant within the Dravidian family which can be called as a fitting or a suitable match to basically to be associated with Indus Valley civilization? There comes the relevance of Old Tamil. The old Tamil traditions constitute the most important source in any attempt to decipher the Indus grid based on the hypothesis of a Dravidian affinity for the Indus language, as Parkola says. He says that old Tamil traditions are relevant and most important source. Then I. Mahadevan makes a very, very important statement. The Indus script is not merely Dravidian linguistically. People so far associating that Dravidian is a linguistically associating with Indus Valley. But he said for the first time he made a statement, but is also culturally much closer to old Tamil polity than has been recognized so far. This is from the Asko Parkola and I. Mahadevan. Then, but there are caveats. Even Mr. Mahadevan and Mr. The Asko Parkola, they are not making an unqualified statement. They qualify. They file a caveat. They are very cautious. Asko Parkola says, but is there any historical relationship between the Tamil culture of the extreme south and the Indus civilization of the northwest? How did the Tamil culture arise and when and where did the Tamil language come from? These questions to be answered not only to legitimize, I want you to underline this word, legitimize the use of old Tamil sources, but also in order to evaluate them better. That's what Parkola says. And Mr. Mahadevan says, I think any direct relationship between Indus Valley and the deep Dravidian south is unlikely because of the vast gap in space and time, something like 2000 years and 2000 miles. That's what bothering Mr. Mahadevan. But linguistically, if the Indus script is deciphered, we may hopefully find that Proto-Dravidian roots of the Harappan language and South Indian Dravidian languages are similar. This is the hypothesis. This is what I thought that before going for evidence, because I have toiled with this evidence. This evidence I found sometime in 2002. After that, I got busy with conducting various elections in the country, and I never had a kind of an occasion to really fully focus on that. I also, because of the weight of this evidence, you believe me, I have been holding almost about 80% of what I am talking. I had it from 2002 onwards, doing a lot of micro studies to convince myself, because I suffered a great amount of disbelief and saw. I am a student of Tamil literature. I have been brought up in an absolutely traditional, conservative approach to understanding of Tamils. Then I was totally shocked. I was having a lot of disbelief. I worked further 8 years to convince myself to stand before an audience like this and make this statement. Then, there are clues from the deep Dravidian south, which Mahadevan calls as the deep Dravidian south. Tamil traditional accounts contain memories of calamity, loss of homeland, hill and river, displacement, shifting of capital and so on. Pasuli Anchudan Panmalai Adithathu, Kumarai Kodum Kudukanal Kolla, Silappadigaram, Malithirai Urundutan Mankadal Kobali, Kalipore. Then Irayana Kalarigal Uraikaran and commentators of Silappadigaram give a detailed account of submergence of ancient Tamil lands and with reference to 3 Tamil Sangams, that is Royal Tamil Academy, promoted by Pandya kings. For some, it is a gospel truth, for some, it is a cock and bull story. The Sangam literary conventions were necessarily preceded by centuries of oral tradition. There is no doubt about that. The Tolkappiyar himself, in more than 93 occasions, a minimum of 93 occasions, he used the word Enmanar Pulamar, Arindhisinere, Therindhisinere. He has been quoting the authors before him. So there has to be a centuries of oral tradition and literary tradition. The Sangam text, the ancient extant remaining literature, contains clues to Tamil prehistory and seems to be a corpus of carried forward memories. I choose to call this the carried forward memories because I don't consider Sangam literature as a running commentary of contemporary events alone. It was recording the contemporary history, but it was also talking about the carrying forward memory, fossilized memories. There is one scholar called M.A. Durai Rangaswamy. He did a PhD thesis in 1948 about his surnames, tribe names and surnames of Sangam. And he made a statement. It is the memory of the old traditions that would have been preserved if at all in these names. These names, because of the distinction and difference, may be looked upon as a rare memory of an ancient tribal organization. Sangam texts have markers for inheritance. I believe that the ancient extant urban literature in India, see that Indus Valley civilization is predominantly urban civilization. If the Indus civilization coming for a gradual decline, I don't believe that all the Indus people went to Bihar and Orissa and went to Brahvi hills and climbed up the hills and started becoming the food hunters and food gatherers. And they would move from the bigger town to smaller towns, or smaller town to much smaller town, but they must be having the continuity of what they were once. And it is also the ancient extant maritime and trade history and the trade system covering western eastern seaboard. If the Indus is collapsing, and imagine the maritime traders of the Indus, they were doing business with the Sumeria and Mesopotamia, and they were going places. They were sending teak from the peninsular India to construct a temple in Sumeria. They were getting material from everywhere. They were importing and exporting. Such a trader, do you think that they would go to some field and started chasing animals or something? So they must have some kind of continuity in their maritime related activity, and that has to be mostly in the western seaboard, which is closer to the Indus Valley, and the Tamil Nadu locations, both the seaboards. The remarkable familiarities with the northern geographies drives as evidence from the Sangam text. Sangam literature has a geography, but that geography is not exactly the physical geography of the Sangam people alone. It was having an extended geography. It was having an extended geography beyond the geographical confines of Sangam text. At this stage, I would like to introduce a problem which I have. Again, I have a problem with another animal this time. This animal is a camel. It's not an ordinary camel. It's a bone-eating camel. I came across this camel in Sangam literature. Agarthinai Aganaluru 245, 245. Thinai Model. I want to tell something about this concept of foreign land. Sangam land is basically divided into 4 lands, Kunji, Mullai, Varanam, Neighbor. But Aintinai, including Palai. The Palai is not a natural geographical unit of the current geographical understanding of the Sangam Tamils. That is the reason in Silappatikaram, the writer, the author has to tell the Tamils that what is Palai is all about. Nobody explains what is Kunji is all about. Nobody explains what is Varanam is all about, but it required an Ilambavadigal to explain. Mullayum, Kunjiyum, Ulaimayum, Thirindu, Nalli Yelbu, Ilathu, Nadungutuyar Utru, Palai Enbodor, Padimam Kollum. Palai Enbodor, Padimam Kollum, he is explaining what is Palai is all about. Padimam means what? It's a phenomenon. Padimam means what? It's an imagery. The imagery of desert, the imagery of the desert land. And the kind of concept of desert which was unknown to the Tamils, it required some explanation to tell what this Palai is all about. And then Tolkappiyam refers about camel. In the Marabian, it says that Ottagatin, that is Ottag Kandru, the calf of the Ottagam, the camel will be called as a Kandru, Ottaga Kandru. And then another poetry in this 245, and reading that self-suffering Panvil Walkai, Amgal Kurumburai, Unangum, Tagar Vel Yengu, Kadukal Ottagathu, Aliru Vasikirkum, Kannadu Kavadaya Kana. If I have to roughly translate, the area where the trade caravans being waylaid by the uncouth, the people, uncultured people, they are the highway robbers, they are waylaying, they are stopping and looting, and these trade merchants, the caravans. In that particular area, it's an absolute forest full of stone. He says the stony expanse where the hungry camels eat the white goats. The Tagar Vellelu mean, Tagar in Tamil mean, it's a heap, it's a scattered, Siddharik Kidakkara Vellai Irumbugal. Where is the location? The location is in the stony expanse where the hungry camels eat it. I did some reading about the camel literature available in the internet and other sources. The camel food is all about like this. When a camel travels across the desert, food may be hard to find. Because food is very scarce, a camel will eat anything. Bones, fish, meat, leather, and even its owner's tent. Camel form that calm. A camel can go 5 to 7 days with little or no food and water. Camels in the wild eat whatever they can find, including even leather, bones, seeds, dried leaves. So that means you see that in the context in which a camel will eat a bone is clearly defined in the camel literature when it is in the wild, when it is in the desert, not when it is at home. And then again there is a camel medicine, camel science. If you notice the camel eating earth or chewing bones, this is a sign of bone infection of the stomach. This is what the recent scientific finding states, which the Sangam literature was not aware. But here, the camel is not put it in a circus tent. The camel is not put it in the camp house of a king. It is not put in the temple. But the person who wrote this poetry is from my hometown. He is from Madurai. He is Madurai Marudan Ilanakana. And he tells that this particular camel in these stony expanse, out of hunger, was eating white bones. I want you to give a thought about it. We will come back to this camel before settling this issue. But the balance sheet, I come back to Mr. Muthiah and Ashok Parkola and the researchers. The balance sheet reads like this. It looks most unlikely that the Indus script will ever be deciphered fully unless radically different source material becomes available. That, however, must not deter us from trying. I take a clue from that. This is one of the attempts in this particular presentation. Place names offer markers for the past migrations. When Europeans went to America, they carried all the European names. When the African slaves were transferred to America, they carried the African names. There is a village called Egypt in California, the state of California, and near that particular village there is a small little river, a small stream runs. It is named as the Nile. And these particular slave laborers from Africa, they carried their Egypt and converted it to a small little village, and they carried the Nile and converted it to a small stream. And this is what the whole world history has told all about. And Pakola says, Harappan place names could provide a potential clue to the identification of Harappan language. Probably the only occasion when Pakola uses superlatives and adjectives to describe one of his own evidence. I have read Pakola from page to page, cover to cover, all his writing, but I have never seen him using superlatives about his own finding. And he reads like this: the most important single piece of actual linguistic evidence relating to the Indus civilization is the toponym Meluka, which he has been basically telling that the Meluka, which was found in the Sumerian and Mesopotamian location as a place name, it is basically an import from the Indus Valley. And he gives this much importance, the most important single piece of actual linguistic evidence. When you try to evaluate my evidence, the place name evidence, please keep this in mind. The substratum of Dravidian place names in Gujarat and Maharashtra. Alchins refer to Dravidian place names in Maharashtra. Sankalia locates Dravidian suffixes in toponyms of Gujarat. H.C. Southwood cites place name evidence to prove earlier Dravidian presence in Maharashtra. P. Kaire has written a book on Dravida Maharashtra. And 3-4 months back, I was in Pune in Bandarkar's library, and I managed to get this book in Marathi, which I got translated in English. This book is named the Dravida Maharashtra. Place names in Indus text. Mahadevan says, when he presented a paper in 1981 in the Tamil conference in Madurai, the opening phrases of Indus texts are likely to contain place names. He says, the name of the eponymous ancestors of Tamil race, Agathian, as well as those of the 3 most ancient royal houses of Tamil country, Chera, Chola, Pandya, now appear etymologically connected to place names. And basing on Dravidian hypothesis, suppose we assume, even though I am not making a claim that is the Dravidian civilization. Let us assume that it is the Dravidian civilization. That we assume that the place names and personal names of IBC survive and integrated in the post-Indus culture. Then the question is, where to anticipate the remnants? That means where to locate these place names? Because there was a society before the emergence of the Indus Valley. There was a society after the decline of the Indus Valley. There was a continuity. Human race was continuing. People were living. People were eating out their living. And they had a culture. They had a politics. where those names have gone. I believe that these names can be anticipated in Indus Harappan area and its surroundings in situ, because that is where the Indus Valley civilization flourished once and it can remain fossilized. Number two, in the probable Dravidian destination. Suppose I assume that they are Dravidians. Where they have gone? In the places where the Dravidian is being spoken now, even now, Dravidian destination. And the third is in the ancient Dravidian literature. That is what Sangam literature is all about. But why Sangam names? Why I selected Sangam names I want to explain. Being the ancient Dravidian literature, Sangam text gives me a Mezzanine view to get closer to IBC in time and in space. That is what Mr. Mahadevan is worried about. He is worried about gap in space, gap in time. I want to bridge that gap. And I use the Sangam text because it is giving me a Mezzanine view. Something like I am climbing up a mezzanine floor and trying to get closer to the Indus Valley. Because how I am getting close to the Indus Valley? Because Sangam text talks not only about the Tamil Nadu, the present Tamil Nadu. It talks about Tulu. It talks about Ponkodu, Pongana, which has been identified with the Dakshin Kannada, Mangalore, that kind of area. It talks about the areas beyond the Sangam Tamil geography. And it is also about 2000 years old, so that I am getting closer to the Indus Valley both in time as well as in space. Then it is an onomastic treasure trove, a literature of names. Sangam text is a literature of names. Naming conventions indicative of deep-rooted name heritage. There is a clear name heritage. Names occupy a central place in collective consciousness. Perum Peyar, Keedum Peyarum Elumi. In Nadigal, the Tamils of Sangam literature are so obsessed about the names. They keep using the word Perum Peyar Gurukal, Perum Peyar Madurai, Perum Peyar Kottai, Perum Peyar Kallur, Perum Peyar Mumbai. That means it's a Perum Peyar as an epithet used. That means a big name, a guy with a big name, a town with a big name, a river with a big name. So the big name was an obsession. Keedum Peyarum Elumi. The ancient Tamils complained with the near universal habit of reusing earlier place names in the new location. When the people migrate, they go and use the name again and again. You have an internal evidence. Madurai, the name of the capital was reused by the Pandya. As per the Tamil traditional accounts, there was a Madurai. The Madurai got submerged. Then again they go to Kavadapuram. Then again they create another capital. Again they name it as Madurai. Then you saw KF place, the map. There are two Tondi. One is in west coast, another is east coast. Nannan, son of Nannan. There is a king called Nannan staying Nannan. A guy called Nannan, and whose father was Nannan. That means father name being given, grandfather name being given, there was a name was an inherited patrimony. It's a heritage material. Many poets are known by their place names, who are player control. So now let me come to the, nowadays I have taken about 16 slides to give the particular background so that the context has to be understood. How I started? Sometime in 1997, when I was doing my place name research, I came across a place name called Palani in Madhya Pradesh. In that particular area, I found the place names like Idiki, Umuli, Teni and Tekadi. The moment I saw Umuli, Idiki, Tekadi together in a particular state, in a particular district, I was amazed. The district name is Chindwara. It is in Madhya Pradesh. Then I presented a paper in 1997 in the Institute of Asian Studies Journal. And then I called that as a Chindwara syndrome. The Chindwara syndrome was a launching pad for me to get into the Indus area. Then I started searching Palani, Tekadi, Teni kind of names so that I be able to relate myself to that. Then in this process, I located these names: Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Tulu, Kota, Padagi, Kodagi, Kui, Kondi, Gondi, Koya, Tulu, Rahul. I am only writing few names. You find all the Dravidian language names as a place names. Then it is not something arbitrary. It's not that it comes anywhere it wants to come. I located this Brahmi as a place name in Pakistan where the Brahmi is being spoken. That Brahmi is not coming in Tamil Nadu or in Madhya Pradesh or in Uttar Pradesh because the Brahmi never crossed the borders. So Brahmi is there in situ the place names. So I found there is a logic in it. And then in Orissa, where I used to work, Orissa is the name of a village in Orissa. In Orissa, there is a village called Oriya. In Bangalore is a village. Maratha is a village in Maharashtra. Avesta is the name of a village in Iran. These are the coordinates. So there is a direct link between a place name and a language name. Then you see that this is the way this Dravidian language names are coming. I have made around here. You see this one, Brahmi. There is a three villages, Brahmi, and Brahmi 4. it comes dark on the area where the Brahmi is spoken, not here, not here. So then I found there is a logic in it. Then I told myself, is this Tamil and Kannada and this is a Urdu, is it my Dravidian language? I mean, is it correct? Or am I being cheated? Or am I being getting carried away? Then I told myself, I will believe it if I find the Tamil dialect area. You must be knowing that in Sangam text talks about the Telvandi Kuttam, Urayaragar, commentators are talking about Telvandi Kuttam, Kudam Karka, Ven Puli, Sida Malad, all kind of whole Tamil lands where the Tamil dialects are being spoken. And a particular name of fascination for me is the Karka. This Karka as a village I am searching. So then I told myself that if I found the Karka in the area, I would start believing it. I went and searched. I found all these names in Dapan Inner Pongal Nadu, Kwanti Nadu, Kutta Nadu, Kuda Nadu, Karka Nadu, Ven Nadu, Puli Nadu, Sida Nadu, Malay Nadu, Aruva Nadu, Thai Nadu. These are the exactly within the Indus and Harappan region. So the moment I saw the Tamil, as far as the name connected with that, and also the names connected with the Tamil dialect region, then I thought that I am right now looking at some evidence which is more serious. This is the dialect area map. Then I immediately went in for a computerized search of all the 45,000 Tamil Nadu place names. I compared with the place names of this Indus Harappan region. I found nearly about 18 place names without even syllable variation, dot, like something like this. I am giving you some Rambal, Aru, Amu, Arani, Arasu, Ayu, Padu, Yamam, Kallu, 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 go like that, 24 times. Then I underlined the names which is attested in Sangam literature. That is of very importance for me because it gives me a time frame. Then I also found that the suffixes Oon, Patti, Palli, Kai, Cheri, Amu, Amu, Ayu, Patti, Chaptan, Patti. Mind it, Chaptan is very important name concept in the Sangam context. Sirai Patti, Virat Patti, Chap Patti, Kandikai. Kandikai is a very important naming concept is here. Kottai, Kottai, Cheri, Baktal, Seri, Chanan, Seri, Kocheri. Then again I found Aradai Chikkar, Aradai Padu, Chikkar, Chikkar Palli, Pura, Pura Palli, Vagai, Vagai Perundalai, Kaliru, Kaliru, Rutran Kannada, Vel, Ukai Kudi, Kochi Niyamam, Tamulu, Adiyama, Alai, Alaivai, Attavai. These are the names which is associated with the Sangam text I found being used there. Then I went in for the search of this particular Kuriji Mulai Vardham Neidal concept. I found Karandai, Nochi, Vachi, Vagai, Kanji. Also the Vardham Neidal. In fact, the Neidal comes down on another sea far away from the Indus Valley, just on the coastal. If I put your Google map and show to you, you will find the Neidal just on the seashore. And the generic names of geographical features, Malai, Kodu, Kundu, Valai, Mudi, Parai, Sunai, Yenal, Karu, Kanam, Ulai, Kurai, Adagi, Aru, Yaru, Kadali, Manal, Nilam, Nilai, Tarai, Teru, Manai, Tirai, Kalari, Parai, Sukam, Kumbal. These are the mono-word place names without the suffix and without the prefix. You know that anybody who is doing a place name research will know that a place where a mono-word place name occurs, a generic name occurs as such a place name, compared with a place where it requires a more ornamental suffix, that without suffix, that location is an ancient location. That means Cheri will become Pondicherry, Puducherry, Velachery, Kilacheri. Then Puram will become Ramanadapuram, Narayanapuram, and all that kind of thing. So this is the way we went about it. Then I went in for the parallel, perfect parallels from the Sangam literature. This is the Sangam place name. This is the reference, pronoun 385. This is the Indus Valley area place name. And this is the latitude and this is the latitude. Compare these names. Ambar with Ambar. Kottai with Kottai. Kottai, there are too many Kottais. There are nearly about 4 Kottais are there in the Afghanistan and Pakistan. 4 to 5 Kottais are there. Tondi, Tondri, Tondri is Tondri Ko, Toti, Totiman, Toti, Elam, Kachi, Tape, Tape Padiliya, Kana, Kala. Then Kungu, Kuri, Nade, Nade Vilaman, Neri, Neri Body. Body is a very important name for Mahadeva research. And Puli, Poti, Port. See, there is a name in Sangam literature, a place name called Port. They write as a O-O-U, Port. Because then there is a sudden confusion. Will anybody accept Port as a place name? Port means a what? So that means then it has to be explained. There are a Sangam literature itself had a confusion about some of the names which has already become contact. Kudurai is a place name, it's a hill. Then the Sangam poet says that it's a Ura Kudurai. Because the Kudurai which will not run. Then Banji is a place name. We also know that Banji is the name of a flower. The reader may get confused between the flower Vanji and the town Vanji. He says that Puva Vanji. Kadavut Periya Kanam. These are the explanations which need to be given at the Sangam stage itself. Oh, Malli and Mondai. Then Mosi Kirana. Vanji, Valla, Vakai, Vani, Milay Kandan. Milay Kandan is a chieftain, and also there is a Milay is a name with the poets, many poets also. Kadavut Periya Kanam, Vanni, Pulli, Veerai. Veerai is a place which Mahadevan identifies with the Arikamedu. And Mr. Subraya also has written a lot of articles about the Veerai. It's an important, archaeologically important place. Marokam to Nampatalaya. You add a am as a Vigini suffix. Marokam, Kandiram, Kaviram, Puranam, Naviram, Mandaram, Arangam, Tondaka. The remote contours of old Tamil polity. The entire Tamil politics is Sangam literature talks about. Vanji, Kottai, Pandya, Cherakka. And the Kottai is so important that it is the Pandyan king is called Vetrivel Kadakkai Kottai Vende. He is also Kottai Vende. Kundi, Madurai, Matrai, Uraivu, Koli, Pudal, Attavadi, Pudakara. Arayam, Padura, Paruru, Kalai Avalpa, Yere Kodi is the name of a chieftain. And Takadu, Lady Vadi, Amu, Varya, Chendrama. And then we will be talking about the Kabuli river, which engage our imagination. And all we talk about the Dravidian origin, we invariably get involved here. And this is the last river. And then this is the Tamil psyche. And then this is the location in Bakruli, in the Uttaranchal, the state of India, in the Himalayan area. There is a village Bakruli. This is the latitude and altitude. And also, the adjacent district, there is a village called Kumbali also. And mind it is not an isolated. When I put it on a plot, I find that one stream of Indus names and Harappan names traveling across into the Uttaranchal area. Probably we have to do further research. There is a Dravidian language called Jangar or Kangar spoken in Nepal area. We must keep that in mind. Beyond Tarai, there is a Dravidian language is spoken. And this name is flowing through that way. Bakroli. And again, there is a lot of Bakrol also comes up to Gujarat. Bakroli. And also, Mahuru is a tributary of Zeelam river and Pakra. Then look at this river name. This is a place name. You may understand that this is a river name, this is a place name. I can show you any number of place name called Ganga. I will show any number of place name called Kaveri. And I will show any number of Amaravati is a place name as well as the river. Bhavani is a river as well as a place name. Noyal is a place as well as the river name. Kaveri is a place as well as the river name. This may not be surprised about it. And then Kaveri, and look at this name, Purnai. Phornai. Purnai, Purni, Purus, Vainai, Kotkai river. Kotkai is a river also in Pakistan. And Kaya, this is in the Indus Valley area. And then look at this hill, the source of Tamil rivers and hills. And the Podikai, Podini, Palani, Koti, Navir, Kudir, Parambu, and Avi. And these are the locations. I can skip through that. Now I come to that. Before I am going to talk about how these names were carried and who carried it. What is the medium? Before going to that particular what is known as anthroponymy, which deals with the titles and surnames and family names of the people, I want to deal with what we are talking about is the science. We are not talking something very imaginary. I have done a lot of micro studies to validate, to convince myself before standing before you. And look at this one. This is the Indus archaeology. This is what R.Balakrishnan says. The Indus field text top city. This is Koli, and this is called a symbol for the sign for the Ur place. So Koli Ur, top city. It's a Chola Kai, 1st century BC, the city of the top Uraidu. That means it is in Indus Valley, it is in Tamil Nadu. There is an archaeological correlation, and there is a kind of correlation clearly. In Sangat test, this is the Koli Kotana. A person known as Kotana who belongs to a place called Koli. And Koli Yu Pilar Mahana Selena. And Koli Urayu. Urayu is not Koli. Ingala second says. Look at this name. When Mahadevan reads Koli here, I am and Urayu. Here I am reading simply Urayu. Uray. That just not on Indus Valley. Uray, Koli, Kolian, Kolian, Uray. And then the Uray gets into the Uttarakhand as well as Himachal Pradesh. Then Uray multiple reference in Sangam text. That means that's the reason I am calling Sangam as a kind of a resonance code. This is the Indus Valley, this is the Himachal Pradesh, this is Uttarakhand. Then gets into the Sangam literature in the current Tamil Nadu. Uray is a place name in Tamil Nadu. Koliyan is a place name in the current Tamil Nadu. Look at this from Koliyan of Indus Valley. Now I will come to Madurai and Madurai. Ayurveda Mahadeva says 9284. This is what called city of four quarters, a planned city. This is it. And sign 284. He says the body means planned city. He finds the dominant intermediate, non-modern, and he is also Madurai, the walled city. And he reads Madurai here and Poodle here. I am simply reading here. Here you be a Poodle for me. Because I am an illiterate in this field. I don't know and what Mahadevan and Ashok says. But I am literate here. I can read Poodle, Poodali, Maharashtra. He gets into Maharashtra. And then Poodle, Sindhurgarh. I am not putting all Poodle. I have almost about 40-50 Poodles linking from the Indus Valley to the Poodle of Madurai. And this is Sindhurgarh. This is the Haveri in Karnataka. This is in Karnataka, Samrajnagar. It gets into Tanjavur, it gets into the Nilgiris, it gets into the Coimbatore, it gets into Dindigul. So this is the golden travels. So archaeology and onomastics. See, we are talking about the archaeological correlation for the name transfer. It is not arbitrarily transferring. Place names serve as an additional resource to archaeologists and historians in the reconstruction of the past. In British Isles, archaeologists have taken the help of place names while looking for Viking sites. The place name evidence indicates that the Vikings who settled these regions were farmers, not military men, traders, even more clearly than the archaeological finds. Based on the names, they come to a conclusion that the Viking invasion into the British Isles was not on the military basis. It was a kind of a progress of the agriculture. In the context of the Israeli-Arab conflict, the Palestine and Israel in 1948, the place names in Palestine have been used as a potential evidence to legitimize the historical claims asserted by the involved parties. Both the parties have given only place name evidence. Based on that, issue has been settled. And the place name survey always also eventually contributed to the shape of the borders delineated for the British mandate in Palestine as proposed by the League of Nations. That means place names settle the borders. In the contemporary present political life, and the Jericho is the ancient most human settlement with an ancient name with an uninterrupted archaeological correlation. I had the fortune of visiting this village. In 2005, I went to Palestine and Israel, went to Jerusalem, and went to Jericho, and went to all these archaeological sites. Then, let me present before you another document. This is Sanur. First read this next. Sanur in Tamil Nadu, megalithic burial site, 3rd century BC. Indus ideogram for deity in the pottery graffiti. Compare that with the Sanur as a place name here. Tiruthu, I was working on my computer. The moment I was reading, it's a Rajavela's book, Rajavela has come here. I was reading this book and suddenly came across a Tiruthu as a place name, which is located near Adichanallur in Tirunelveli district. Then the name Tiruthu is fascinated me. I immediately went to my database and located Tiruthu in Happan. Can you imagine this? Tiruthu is a megalithic burial site near Adichanallur. This is the Tiruthu. Tondi, again is a medieval, Tondi is yet to be explored fully. It's a Tondi, Kotai. Compare this megalithic BRW and urns, NDP, compared with Harappan, phosphorites in the Tamil Brahmi, 8th century BC. And then polished figure and all this. If you look at this, compare this to Kotai. Varigan and Varigan. Arikke Medu, it's Arikke. Veere is a village. Kallu, I will give a lot of importance. I'll talk about the Kallu separately. Kallu is a Neolithic site and upward board culture, Antenna's boards. It's in the Raichur. It's a very, very important link. After the time of Bath, it's an important link when you talk about the Neolithics of South India. And Mamudi is a place. And even I verified how this particular name is pronounced. Yesterday I spoke to somebody in Gujarat. And then this is a place in Panchamahal district, which I will tell you what are the other names are coming. It's a phosphate as industrial science. And there is a place called Purivarai. It's a rock arts, which is in the border of the Kerala and Tamil Nadu in the Kothagiri side. I think it must be Wayanad district or something like that. This Purivarai compared with this particular place, this way I will always become Palli, will become Palle in Andhra Pradesh. and compare this particular two names in industrially and this particular place in the rock art, read all these names, and find the archaeological context of the name transfers. Name says it all. I am saying these names were transferred at that particular context where the people formed the settlements. I have no reason to believe that this Kundi was earlier known as Mumbai. I have no reason to believe this Kotte was earlier known as Delhi. So this is the location. I created a Google map for it. And then now I come to another aspect of my presentation. Is that how a place name travels? A place name, how do we travel? It has to reach another place. There has to be medium. Somebody has to carry that. So that means it travels along with the people when they travel. And I read from John R. Stewart. He is a great Guruji for all of us. Anybody who does the place name research must read it. He has written a book called Names on the Globe. On theoretical setting he gives. This is one of the first books I read when I got into the place name research. Many tribal names are certainly derived from place names. That is what Mr. Vajagan says that Chera Chola Pandian has got a place name. That's it. Look at this particular tribe name, Aya, compare with the Indus name, Kalabar with this name, Marabar with the Marabar, Kale, Vidale. Then this Pudian and Pala I have put it in an asterisk mark, star mark. The reason is that in Puranavu it says, Panan, Kadambar, Pudian, Innam, Pudiyum Ilave, Innam, Kanadu, Pudiyum Ilave. These are the four important Pudi. That means basic people of this particular place. In there it comes with Pudian. Look at this Pudian. Panan, Idai, Ungar, Andar, Purava, Aribal. So this is the tribe name has got a connection with the place name. The people carry their place name. I will tell you a Dogria code tribal man's reason for carrying name. A person who launched me into place name research in a very serious way. See, I am basically, by training, we look things critically. It's not that I would believe at the first instance. I would question it again and again. Sometime in 80s, late 80s, when I was working in a Dravidian tribal environment in Koraput, I used to learn some Dravidian languages. Then at that time I was traveling, I located a village in the Dongri of Pond, is one of the very primitive Dravidian tribe. I found in a ethnographic monograph written by one researcher, he has mentioned that this particular village people, because of some kind of reason, drinking water was not available, the stream was dried up, they shifted from their village from here to here. After 25 years, they moved from here to here. They moved after 30 years from here to here. So he mentioned in a map. His research was something different. He was looking at the drinking water, this kind of issues. I found that in all the three places, one thing common, the name traveled. That means the tribal, he shifted the village, but he did not change the name. So I immediately made a program to visit that village. I went and sat with that particular tribal elderly gentleman. I asked him that question, you see that you shifted your village 25 years back? Yes, my father's time. Before that, 30 years back you shifted, that was during my grandfather's place. Then why did you, there are so many names are available, new names are coming, why are you not choosing a new name? And why are you keeping the old name? He told me, no, this name is not belonging to us, it is our father's and grandfather's name. I said, no, how does it matter? Your grandfather was not wearing a shirt, now he started wearing a shirt. Why don't you go for a new name? He told me, sir, there is a problem. If I change this particular name, all my great-grandfather who died and whose spirit is moving around in this village, and this village does not belong to me alone. This village belongs to my elders, Nita Dharmai, the people who are gone, left this world and gone. This village belongs to them also. Suppose I change the name, that spirit will have an address problem. They will not be able to locate the village, they may get angry and they may create a problem for us. We may get a cholera, we may die, we may have a famine. And that man taught me what is the place name. I still remember a person who taught me what is the place name is all about is that man who told me that if we change the name, then I understood that the place name is something like an umbilical cord. It's a DNA material, it's a genetic material which a person carries, a community carries, a tribal carries, a society carries. Then the proliferation of geographical names that become family names occurred only after the bearer of the name left his domicile and moved to another place. This is what Abraham Stagel was done, a great work on the Jews' place names and the surnames and family names. He says the geographical names become family names Only after the bearer of the name left his domicile. That means so long as he is in his own area, there is no need. The appellations based on place names are formed not from the names of locality where the person lives, but from the name of the locality from which he came. Then again I go to the Parkola. Parkola says here, 12 cuneiform texts dated between 2006 to 2028 BC suggests that by Ur 3 times, that means the Mesopotamia, Sumerian, people associated with Meluka, that is Indus Valley, he says, were fully integrated in Mesopotamian society. Meluka appears now as the name of a person and as the name of a village near Tello whose inhabitants had purely Sumerian names. That means in that Sumerian village, all the people are having a Sumerian name. But this guy who went from Meluka, which Ashwaparkola says that it is the Indus Valley, what he did? He carried Meluka as his personal name and also the place name. So my question is that then the question is whether the southbound Indus people carry their place names as their family names and personal names. I have no reason to believe that only a person who travelled towards the Mesopotamia carried his place name as a personal name, as a place name, not the other way. But it seems they did. Look at this evidence. Sharon, it's a place name. Sharon, Sharon. I have a kind of a variation. Sharon, Seramagan, Sharon, Chola, Pandian. This is the coordinates. All comes in the Indus region and Harappan region. Then look at this particular surnames, family names or title, whatever you call. Korai, Udiyan, Adal, Kutuan, Tilli, Vadumi, Chediyan, Bharat. Karikala is a place name. And you may wonder, is it possible? Yes, it is possible. I lost my sleep the day I located Karikala in my database. I woke up my wife many times. She is the person who troubled. I got many Eureka times because I didn't know what to do. Then I go and wake her up. At 2 o'clock I said, no, I found Karikala. She will listen to me, then people. So then sometime I go and say that I found Adiyama. Most of the time I found these people in the midnights. Karikala is a place name and will explain how it is possible. CB, Kavera. We always give a Manakili. See, the two combination of place names become a name. Now you will always find that, say, I am from Nakkam. People will be asked that, Elda Nakkam, Madurai Nakkam. See, a person of Nakkam of Madurai. Manakili, Senganan, Senkeli Kutuan, Kalankai Kani Namuri Chair, all good part. See, our commentators wrote the etymology. See, I stopped talking about etymology because that I was chasing the etymology of a place called Konarak. It's where the Sun Temple is there. I spent 4 years of research. I used to go after a European chili. Wherever I found a European chili, I was believing that it came from the Yeruku, Arka. I was doing a no end. I wrote 2 papers about it. Konarak, I was obsessed with. And Sun Temple and that particular thing. Then the day I located the 5 Konarak as a village in Iran, along with the Chandrabhaga which went through the Pakistan and Afghanistan. Wherever there is a Sun Temple, there will be a Chandrabhaga river will be there. There is one river Chandra, another river called Bhaga, both will be Chandrabhaga. Then my job as an election commission took me to many locations, remote locations in the country. I took that as an incentive. Whatever suffering, whatever work I put in, I always said I am yearning an opportunity to learn my studies. Then I will go there, I will select I tell the place secrets with easy very much here. I used to even select the place after seeing the name. Then I will see the map. I will say, oh, Chandrabhaga river is there. Okay, let me go there. I take a helicopter and go and fly there and land there. I will ask the collector. I said, where is Sun Temple? Is there any Sun Temple is here? Yes, sir. There is a Sun Temple. Small Sun Temple is there. Sir, how did you know that you are coming for the first time? It's a Lagos pity, not for second place. So, because I saw in your map there is a place called Chandrabhaga. If there is a Chandrabhaga, there will be a Sun Temple. Then I will put a Sun Temple. Then I will tell, if there is a Sun Temple, is there a place called Chandrabhaga, there is a small stream or river. Then they will say, it's a small stream, it's not a river. I found it anywhere in the northern India and western India, anywhere there is a Sun Temple, there will be a Chandrabhaga river. Then when I pursued that, I landed in 5 places called Konarak. Then found that this particular name comes from the Sakal Deepa, what our Purana says. Purana says that through the sun worshipping people, I stopped pursuing the etymology. I felt that it is a wasteful exercise. Because that I am told that Kanoj is a place, is come from the Kanya Butcher. a person, a pure with the hunchback. But when I located more Anuj in Pakistan, Australia, Afghanistan, and as well as in Iran, and then I don't convince myself, unless there is an etymology called Kaliyakucha comes there, I will not believe. For me, it is only a vowel and consonant. A CV or VC sequence. I take that as a sequence. I will go for an algorithm. I will go for a computation, computerized computation. I will go for probability theory rather than trying to find out whether what Kotte means. Kotte has been identified as in many ways by many people. So this is the way the name comes. These are the names I know that I am very short of it. You even look at it, Modern Kiki and Library-Chennai. These are the places, Connector. So these are the names. Last year, when we declared elections in 2009, normally once the elections declared, no officer is allowed to travel. Then the commission has always been good to me, and whenever there was an opportunity, they will always asking me to go and thing and all. Even Mr. Gopalswamy even forced me to go for a place name conference. After announcing Uttar Pradesh election, I was almost refusing to go, but he ordered me to go. He encouraged my studies. Then I got a call and an email from a person from the UN, and he wrote this email from Jakarta. He was working for a maintenance. His name was Aman Adi. Then Aman Adi, something stuck to me. Because that in the Western world, they will always put the reverse. If you go to passport, your surname will become first name, your first name will become surname. Then I said, he said, Aman Adi is an Adiyama. Then when he rang me and I asked him, how are you, Mr. Adiyama? Then he told me, sir, you are the only man who pronounced my name correctly and properly. I am so glad. I said, okay, I guessed and attacked him. Then he immediately followed one. Then he told me, now you tell me how you become Adiyama. Then he told me, sir, are you coming? If not for anything else, at least to meet you I will come. Because I wanted to meet the Adiyama in Jakarta. I made a trip, traveled non-stop, via Singapore, went and addressed that particular conference and again came back for my elections. Then in between I met Adiyama. I asked him that how you become Adiyama. He told me, sir, I am told that I was working in New York in UN. Somebody from Iran told me that there is a place called Adiyama. And then I came and inquired about it. In Indonesia there was a lot of Arab trade was there. Through the trade, this particular name spread into Indonesia, but ultimately I traced my name back to a place name there. So that I did that particular Adiyaman I met, but he has nothing to do with our Adiyaman. But this Adiyaman and Nedumon Anji is a place name. I will see the coordinates, I will show the map to you. And Tittal, Tidian, Panni, Nalli, Hilli, Pagan, you know the Pagan. And Kodan, Oil. Kittan, Pindan, Matti, Movement, Anni, Milli is a place. Chaptan, Alisi. All these places are non-existent here. I want to say that Katti, Velian, Udijan, Father. Thondriko from Thondri, Tandirako from Tandir, Vichiko from Vichi, Yeriko from Yere, Kalvar Koman from Kalvar, Avi Koman, Ambar, Mandi, Kalvar, Malay. This is the way the names look like. Then I will talk about the migration of gods. When the people migrate, the gods are bound to migrate. Ancient societies named their places after their gods and goddesses, Nordic society. The people carry their gods to the new destination. Murugan and his Pattu caves in Malaysia. Few years back we went there. We saw, I don't think there is a better temple for Murugan anywhere else exists. Such a great temple. And Murugan worshipped a comedy festival in Natal, South Africa. In Uruba, there is a religion called Uruban religion in Nigeria. And it travelled all the way to Brazil and so many African countries along with the African people. It went across the Pacific and reached there. So that means wherever the people to whom that God belongs, the God also travelled. That is how Ramayana travelled to Thailand, to Indonesia, Ramayana were written. And then the place names Putri, Putrai, Anangurai, Mayan, Mal, Perumal, Pukai, Sayan, Murugan Bala, Muru, Veli, Velan, Kumaran, Vendar, Sivan, Easan, Easar, Valli, Kamave, Putra, Suran, in the industrial and beyond, remind us of the names of the Tamil pantheon gods. So I got a doubt. Am I missing something? Am I imagining something? Is this Murugan is that Murugan? Is this Kumaran is that Kumaran? Can I believe that? Then I went for a micro study. Before that I will tell you. This is what the diagram order says. Sign 47, sign 48. is Indus line. He says it is Muru on the basis of a clear linguistics, cultural and other things, and the continuity in the subsequent. The original name of the deity was something like Muru. Characterization of the earliest Tamil Muru in complete accord with his descent from the Harappan skeletal deity with similar traits revealed through visual depictions, early myths and Dravidian linguistics data. That's what he said. This is megalithic symbol at Sanu in Tamil Nadu. This symbol comes here. This is from Kalibanga, this is from Harappan. There is an archaeological correlation, there is a continuity. The basic Indus ideograph for deity occurs often in the pottery graffiti from the megalithic periods at Sanu in Tamil Nadu. This is told compared to BB Long. I remember it's 1961. In pottery graffiti at Mangudi and Musiri, Kerala, Tamil Nadu archaeology and recent knowledge. This is what they read as a Muru. And this is what Ashwaparampara reads as a Muru. Chapter 30, Deciphering the Script. The sign of two intersecting circles engraved on many Harappan tablets denotes the Dravidian word Muru. He said this is sign, ear, nose, rings, bangles, reading Muru, Murugan God meaning. He said that it's like Anil Pillai, Bangles Pillai, Murugu Pillai, Murugan Pillai. And they go back. For Mr. Mahadevan, this is Murugu. For Ashwaparampara, this is Murugu. For me, in that particular geography, this is Murugan. Murugan, Vedan, Kumaran, Kamaved. Say, you may ask that so much of complexity, so much of difficulty, so much of interpretation in deciphering Murugan as a Murugan on the part of this Mahadevan as well as Ashwaparampara. How we are able to just like that read Murugan say? The answer is very simple. This Murugan belongs to the oral tradition. Placements are basically a oral literature. It belongs to oral language. There are many primitive society, tribal society, even now not having the written language. Written language is of recent phenomenon. There are more languages in the world not having the written script than the languages of having the script. When you are trying to convert a oral concept into a writing, you have to devise a technical mechanism. You have to give a lot of interpretation. You have to really suffer. And then particularly when you are not having a Rosetta Stone, when you are not having some kind of a bilingual text to read it, then it becomes very, very complicated. But I am not having a complication because this Murugan and this Velan, this Kumaran and this Kamaved mentions in Tirumurugatru straight got into the oral tradition of the Dravidian, whatever Proto-Dravidian, South Dravidian you call it, straight from the oral to oral, from one generation to other generation, grandfather to father, father to son. Like that it traveled and straight got into the computer, we are able to locate it because it is not went through the other problems. So then I again asked, how do I believe this Murugan? I went in for it. I told you already that my journey with the name started from the Padani, located in Padani, Madhya Pradesh. I went after the Padani, Tekadi, and all. So I went after those names. Located these places, the Padani dot on Harappa. This Padani. Pudini. Look at this Pudini. Pudini is the name of the Avinan Pudi. Tirumurugatru says that it is coming within the Pandya Nadu, identified with today's Padani. There are people who say that this Padani and Pudini and Avinan and Pudi are one and the same, but whereas I have both as different names, it may so happen that these two different names, and we may not be correctly interpreting. Padani and Pudini. This is Avinan and Pudi. Yerakam. This is E2. I already told that Kondak, Kabiram, Nabiram, Kabiram. Like that E2 really, when you add it, this particular Yerakam. And then Chendi, in the Tirumurugatru it is based on Cholai, Kanike, this place enormously. And see, mind you, in Sangat text it is not mentioned as a Kanike, it is mentioned as a Tani. It is mentioned as Tanikai, Putkai, like that. Here say Tanikai and Tani. This one is coming in the Indus and Harappan area. And if you really look at it, this is the way it creates a kind of a cluster. Look at this Murugan cluster. Murugan, Kumaran, Palli, Padani, Paran, Murugan, Tani, Pudini. These are the kind of cluster. It comes that this is its co-terminus with the Harappan region. Then epic trial. I went after the epic, the first coming epic. Kaneki, opener, March of one. A person, see for example that Mr. Sangas, his name is then Pejawar P. Sangas. It means that a person from Pejawar. One, wife, or cup, these are the things. We place here a person from that place, Madurai Road, Kottai Road, Tondi Road, like that. A person from Mancha is the Mancha one. Pugar and Pugar, when I located this particular place, I was amazed. Muthiah, Vanji, Chennai. If you read all these names in that particular Indus area, your first epic is storyboard is available. This is a storyboard of the first epic. Then I come to the, sir, you kindly permit me some more time, sir. Some more time. The pathways and signposts. Because I titled this as a journey of civilization. The journey of civilization I am trying to capture through the journey of names. If it is a journey, and there has to be pathways, and there has to be signposts, and there has to be milestones. Purana 201, 9, 8 to 12. Niye, Vadapal Munivan Tadavinil Tondri, Sembu Punai Tiet Chedum Puise, Uvara Nigai Tuvarai Andu, Narko Mumbu, Vadimuri Vanda Vendu Vere, Irungu Vere, Tamil Party. Then, this is the translation I have taken from the Ayodhan's article. This particular translation belongs to him. He is the translator. O Vale, among the Vale, you are descended through 49 generations of the lineage of unvarying liberality which arising out of the water picture of the northern stage, ruled over Tuvarai surrounded by long and soaring walls made of bronze. Legend is preserved by Nachinarkir in his commentary on Tulvapia. Again, there is a second confirmation. Tuvarai is identified as many other scholars as a Turapati, and Ayodhya Mahadeva identified Tuvarai with Dwarka in Gujarat and northern state with Agartya. This is one of the signposts. Now look at this. This is the Indus sites in Gujarat. This is the early Indus sites. It gets to the facts that comes to the local and all, and finally it goes to the southernmost state up to Daimapur located. Then around 2500 BC, the Harappans probably started infiltrating into Kutch in Gujarat and settled down there. Gujarat has as many as 60 Indus settlements found in Kutch. Sankaliya Dravidian elements in Gujarat, Indus Tamil elements in Gujarat. I will show you a small document. See, this I have created an Excel sheet. Look at this one. This is in Gujarat, Anand district, Panchmahal, Bakur. Reading from the Bakrodi. Then get into this particular district, I given it a separate color. Reading with Purana 201. Agartya, Meru, he started from the Meru hills. He picked up the villages from the Tuvar. There are only 3 villages in the entire country named as a Tuvar. One is Svagandai, another is in Pudukottai, that means 2 in Tamil Nadu, third one is in Then this is the way, this is comes. Vale, Kaveria, Mangudi, again this is a Mangudi Vardhan Kalaivanaka. This is the place. So this is how this Gujarat names looks like. Then it provides a kind of, I want to remind you Panchadraga concept, which includes the Gujarat. This is the way the Gujarat names comes. Kaveria, Agartya, Beladia, and all these things. Remember that I showed you a site that the bone-eating camel, which I was worried about. I made a calculation that in near Madurai, where I also belong, where the Madurai Inamahana would not have seen a camel eating a bone in a desert environment, wild environment, anywhere in South India. The nearest desert which we can find a camel eating a bone. Mind it, in the industrial civilization, in the sea, camel is not coming, but the camel bones have been found. There is a kind of a discussion on the availability of camel. Otherwise, also in the late Harappan society, Kalibandra we are finding, this is an area, desert area, probably the camel was found here, where Mangudi and all these Kaveri, Veli and all that. So this is Dravida Maharashtra, because I am not having time. This is the way Dravida Maharashtra looks like. I am not showing the Excel sheet, a huge document which I prepared. And see, this is the way the Dravida Maharashtra villages. This is Palli ending villages. This is the Kuppam, Malay. And then you see, this is the food ending, body ending places. This is the wood ending places. This is the body ending. Like that, different suffixes I have collected. And then this is the Dravidian Maharashtra, it looks like. So the name reads. So there is a clear connectivity. Look at this particular thing. I call this the Kallur corridor. This is the way the Kallur. How many Kallur? You know that Kallur is very important archaeologically. Starting from the Indus Valley, Maru, Veerai, Chirapalli comes in the Sangam text also, Oru, Karu, and these are the names. And look at this particular map. The name bridge, it looks like this, Karu, Malay, how it leaves the Maharashtra, gets to the Gujarat, and gets to the Indus Valley. Look at the Indus Valley Kallu, and from there you will find all the Kallus exactly. I call this as the Kallu corridor. And remember, Daimabad in Maharashtra and the copper gold culture in Kallu, Karnataka, in Raichur. This is called a genomics. I am seeing Mr. The genomics researcher, he is very much here. And then this is the way the place name, the pore becomes in Pakistan in the Indus Valley. In Gujarat, it retains as a pore. In Tamil Nadu, it becomes a pore wood. Subsequently, it becomes pure pore wood. It adds ornament. More is a wood, and it becomes a more wood near Coimbatore. More in Gujarat, more in Indus Valley, more in Gujarat, more wood in Tamil Nadu. Patti in Indus Valley, Patti in Punjab, Rajasthan, Himachal Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, UP, Kochi Patti in Tamil Nadu. You have thousands of Patti. Like Cheri, wood, Valu in Afghanistan becomes the Peruvalu like that. Udi, Nadu, Malay like that. So that how we connect this name to IVC? IVC suffered a gradual decline and the place name can be anticipated to survive the IVC area. The fossilized remedial names of IVC area connecting name corridors run to the Gujarat Maharashtra attestation follow the above logic. Place names such as Kurkai, Banji, Kunti are unknown to many people. Not attested in Indo-Aryan literature, either in the context of northwestern geography or otherwise. That is the reason I am calling this a KVT complex. This name is not touched by any other literature. Outside Sangam literature, it comes only in the Ptolemy as well as in the peripherals of Erythraean Sea from the western geographers. And then we account for the KVT in IVC. If these transfers had taken place during the historic times, then it would not have gone unrecorded in the northern literature and in ancient Tamil literature. Hence, it has to be prehistoric or proto-historic affair. Many place names and personal names were already archived when Sangam texts were compiled. This is indicative of the remoteness of the transaction. There is a material evidence to assume the gradual spread of post-Harappan culture in peninsular India. Potteries with the Indus-like sites are available. Attestation in Sangam text is a clear evidence for the antiquity of not only place name but the place itself. And that these names formally connect the prehistory of the people who named the Kurkai, Banji, Tundi as their towns, Pudri as their hill, Kaveri and Kurlai as the river, Chera, Chola, Pandya as their dynasty, had Parivaran, Adiyaman and so on as their king and chieftain, and who worshipped Murugan and celebrated Tanagi, and had established Tamil royal academies and compiled Sangam texts and had a nostalgic remembrance about their lost river Kapuli in the KVT complex in the northwestern geographies and surrounding regions. These names throw light on the Tamil prehistory and legitimize the use of old Tamil sources. What Mr. Ashok Parkola putting as a precondition, we try to fulfill this precondition in the context of identifying and Indus literature, oral tradition and continuity primitive literature. We must always think that Indus people had a craft, they had a sculpture, they had a painting, they had an ornament, they created jewelry, they created a town where they are not writing poetry. They must not have written poetry, but they must have composed poetry. And are we not giving account for your oral concept, oral literature? I have seen the oral literature, how it tries. What I read as a Tamil student in Aganadu and Puranamuru in Kurundavai, I found that being orally, in that meaning, same terminology being told by in Chhattisgarh, in Bastar. I wrote that in Bastar district is the living laboratory of Sangam literature, where I found a person telling his lover that you come and wait for me, I will come with a Karandai flower in my hand. This is a tribal in Bastar singing about his lover. So there is something called the oral tradition of Indus literature, which I consider was passed on and kept in the memory and written along with other contemporary inputs in the Sangam literature. The name bridge that connects the Indus Valley and South Indian states certainly bridges the vast gap of 2000 years and 2000 miles that I Mahadeva talks about. These names represent some vestiges of remedial habitations in non-remedial areas, and this meets the demand of TV sonic. These evidence make the argument on great contrast between the highly developed city civilization of Mohenjo-daro and the wandering tent life of the elite Brahmo is somewhat irrelevant, as the Indus legacy can now be comfortably connected to the suitable high culture of the ancient Tamil and their literature. Occurrences of names that can be connected to Mughal worship and Kannai religion and Agastya myth should meet the requirement for the cultural continuity between IBC and South India. After all, names form an integral part of the heritage. And then I don't want to take much time. This is what I want to highlight another case study which proves that in the contemporary society these names are still existing. In the Kongu area, these names are absolutely existing and it can be connected to the map. In the Kongu territory names, Kongu Kani names, Kongu Kutam names. The Kongu area people are the people attested in Sangam literature and their name is mentioned in the Tamil Brahmin and early inscription, Annuvan, Saktan, all these names. And they are very close to the clan identity. They cherish their clan and they have a Kani village, not a settlement village. This Kani land is very, very important. Will you believe that I have Kalantani is right on there in the IBP area? All this is not the names from Coimbatore. These are the names from Indus Valley. I will connect the people of the living people from the Dodas and the Kongu people. Because see, at the end of the day, you have to connect. You have to connect a concept, you have to connect a transfer, you have to connect a vibration with the real people. The names have not come by flying. It has come with the real people. I want to tell you that in Sangam literature there is a mention about the Kongu people and their capacity to dig the well. There is a simile which talks about the wells of Kongu people. So the conclusion I come to that. On the basis of this evidence which I placed before you, I conclude the presence of KVT complex, Coastal Bungee complex in the Indus-Harappan geography offers a valid tool for identifying the language of Indus groups. Considering the close affinity between the placements of IBC and the names connected exclusively to Sangam polity, society and religion, a generic South Dravidian and a specific Old Tamil association to Indus Valley civilization in the place of Proto-Dravidian appears viable. Because I am saying that proto-language and proto-people may be grazing cattle, they may be chasing animals, they may be doing a kind of a rudiment life. That is the environment a proto-language comes. But the civilization is always created by the matured civilization, matured language, also in the multicultural and multilingual environment. If that is the case, we should look at the IBC only in the context of the South Dravidian and the Old Tamil, not in the concept of the Proto-Dravidian. The problem with the scholars is that they try to consider that the Proto-Dravidian is the language of the IBC, then they try to account for the Hill-Brahmi and the Prut Malto in Bihar and in the Pond in Orissa and another Pond in the Madhya Pradesh, also the Tamils. They are all put together, they club together South Dravidian, Central Dravidian, North Dravidian, they have a problem in handling that. But I have a solution, I feel that it's a South Dravidian and specific Old Tamil. If the Indus text contains place names, like what Mothiah will say, and personal names, and if the scripts could be deciphered someday, there is fair chance of names from KVT complex beginning. There seems to be a definite archaeological context for this name transfer. Hence, onomastically aided competent exploration in southern Dravidian states, Gujarat and Maharashtra may yield further insight. I tell this with a full sense of responsibility. I would change a village name called Osia. There are 3 villages, Osia, one in Orissa, another is in Uttar Pradesh, and third is in the Jodhpur of Rajasthan. I have visited these places, found the archaeology, and I went to Rajasthan. I first went to a village in Osia and found the surrounding names and found that this cluster exists in this Jodhpur. I studied the village, temple, statue, everything. And when I told me there is a temple, then I went and worshipped with my officers. It is called Ketrapal. They told that it is a Ketrapal Takurani. That means Ketrapal Amman. Then I believed it and worshipped it. I went to Jodhpur, stayed there for 2 days, went around. Then they took me a temple, they said that a Ketrapal. Then I worshipped the Ketrapal and suddenly found a mustache in the Ketrapal. Then I found that what is a Ketrapal? Ketrapal is our Kaval Deva, like our Ayyanar they said. Chetrapal is a Ketrapal, is in Orissa they call it a Ketrapal, it's a Chetrapal. Then again I came back to Orissa, next Saturday, Sunday I went to that village, went to the same teacher who took me. I told him that you told me last time it is a Takurani. Yes sir, it's a Takurani. Is it a Takur or Takurani? It's only Amman sir, not Swami. Then we went to that particular temple and can I examine the statue? Then we found this particular temple is totally smeared with the all manjal, turmeric, everything. There is a mush was unleashed. Then when I asked them, then I was amazed that I saw this temple, Ocean, went to another Ocean, located the sex of the god, and came back to Orissa, and again gender was found out. I said I was amazed. I was asking how it happened. The scholars in Orissa explained to me that in the medieval period, when the Jainism and Buddhism was taking a beating, and they were converting most of the male gods, when the Shakti cult was emerging, they all converted that into deities or the devatas, not the devatas. And then they converted Takuro into Takuranis, and then people simply believed it. So, with that kind of responsibility, with that kind of case study, I suggest that if a name in Indus Valley, if it carries with a place in Tamil Nadu or South India, if it is not already done, if it is not already excavated, please go and excavate that. Please go and explore that. Because I found Sanur matching with Sanur. I found Koivarai matching with Koivarai. Kottai matching with Kottai. Tundi matching with Tundi. Any name you have done, when I find that in Indus Valley, that place is an ancient place. If you have not done so far, please, instead of waiting for another shepherd or somebody else finding it out, let us go and dig that. There seems to be a basis for the Tamil traditional accounts with reference to the last homeland, river and mountain, the three royal Tamil academies and shifting of capital, and Sangam reference to the migration of Ravi and Kuvarai. All these inputs should be given a serious revisit, and occurrence of Sangam Tamil names in the toponyms of IDC and beyond should be evaluated in this context. After this particular study, I have started believing very firmly what Irayanar Kadaviyal Uraigaran says is an absolute truth. And there are some scholars in the last century and this century called this as a top and good story. They have called that as a figment of imagination. With full response of an authority and academic pursuit, I can say that there is an absolute basis for this particular three Sangam concept, which needs to be pursued, but we only have to have it open mind. If you have to search for a Babruli, I would. If it is a pattern code, I will look it for any pattern. There is also Mediterranean, there is an Arabian Sea, everything. So, the vestiges of the northwestern past is traceable even now in the toponyms and ethnonyms of Tamil communities like the Kongu community. We may not have a definite time frame for the name transfer, but attestation in ancient Tamil texts offer temporal benchmark. It appears that the Sangam Tamils probably carried their remote prehistoric and probable Indus memories in their mind space. I thought that's a mind space. You carry that name, you have a geography in your mind, and recreated their earlier name spaces in their physical, psychological spheres, and by extension, by logical extension in their literary sphere, and in a way relived their past. Sangam Tamils in a way relived their Indus past. They recreated their names, they recreated their sphere, and they lived contemporarily, simultaneously, they also lived in their past. And probably the Sangam text is not a running commentary, it was not the day-to-day diary, it was the basically rendering of your oral tradition, your Indus memory into literature apart from recording contemporary. Sangam corpus may not offer a Rosetta Stone for deciphering the Indus trade, but it appears to be holding a promising touchstone for interpreting the Indus script. From Kottai to Kottai, Vanji to Vanji, and Tundi to Tundi, it appears it was not merely a journey of name, but a journey of civilization. A remarkable human endeavor that could culminate in an existential and inclusive wisdom. Yavun Kure, Yavun Kere, all are about all the things.
There are some questions.
I am afraid I am not an expert in this, but I feel that you are all the time thinking of the north-south, this kind of a flow. Whereas you should go back further, if it is possible, I don't know, a lot of things which emanated from Africa, and horizontally also moved, and they moved to the Gondwana land, which is all gone into the sea. So there is a movement from this side also. That aspect somehow is, I am afraid it's forgotten, because it's from Africa it started, it comes to south, then it goes to Indonesia, Australia, even though they find through DNA testing and popularity and all that. That aspect I don't know.
Yes, I would.
I can throw some light on that.
Yes, I will do that. See, this Dr. Pichappan is very much here, who is doing research in the genome project, human genome project. He is the director of the National Geographic Project. He is very much come here. In fact, we have been collaborating in certain aspects of that. In fact, I have written an article in 2005 published in International Journal for Remedial Linguistics, the African Roots of Remedial-Speaking Tribes. This is about a tribe living in the Andhra, Orissa, Chhattisgarh tribes. and compared their place names and ethnic name and clan name with the Benin River area of Nigeria, 463 villages matching village with village, stream with stream, clan with clan. I have proved it. It has been quoted by the Clyde Arabs printers twice in his articles. So that means that I am entirely in agreement with the flow of people, which has been again endorsed by the DNA study, genome study, that is out of Africa theory. I subscribe to that. But when we talk about that, there has been a lot of travels. We talk about a particular layer of travel. Suppose you look at it, man traveling from the Africa via into India, coastal migration, getting into Australia, he will go to Pramane colors, and then is the remnants of the chromosomal remnants. And then this is a particular layer. It is a very, very ancient, about 30,000, 40,000, 40,000 years back. And then Gondwana land and all is a different concept. Like people talk about the continental drift, and people talk about the submergence, emergence of the Himalaya. Many things cannot be clubbed because when you talk about a geological time, we talk about 1 million years, 5 million years, and 50 million years. But when we talk about the Sangam literature and the Indus Valley, we are talking about a 4,000 year, 3,000 year, 2,000 year, 1,500. So that means we are talking about a particular layer of human movement. And if you take that moment, I am not denying that the human population came from Africa. I am also not denying that there is a possibility of the population shifting from the south to north also. And there is a crisscross movement. But we are talking about a particular layer. When you are archaeologically trying to account for the progress of the Indus cult, when you are trying to account for the Indus cult archaeologically, and I am trying to give you an additional evidence to talk about that, it deals with a particular layer which is connected with the Sangam people. That is the reason I carefully mentioned that people who named their towns as the Korkai, Vanji, Tundi, called their kings as a Cheran, Cholan, Pandian, called their hills as a Pudiki and Palani, and called their kings as a Karigal and Adiyaman, and these peoples had something to do with the Indus Valley. And why I call them Tamil? Because they wrote Tamil literature. I call them Dravidian because the Tamil is a Dravidian language. It's as simple as that.
You understand? Are they calling these names even today?
This is the present name. Presently called. This is not an old name. I want to let me clarify. All the names quoted in this presentation are the current names, where I can give the latitude, Aksharegai, Tirkaregai. I will give a map to you, verifiable. If you want, if the permits, Pakistan permits, you can visit that village also. And one day I was having a dream. One day I finished all the election. I wanted to walk into my chief election commissioner, things that please depute me to Pakistan election commission and to have an interaction. This is what I kept in mind. And then, so if there is for information, there is a place called Korkai in Pakistan. I found that there is a hotel called Korkai Hotel. If I go there, I will stay there.
One more. I was Mr. They say there are 50 names, names in Turkey. Exactly identical, including spelling in as in Karnataka. Now, after came in Manjari many years before. 50 names. Exactly name spelling in Turkey as well in
Karnataka. The reason is that it has to be co-terminus with the movement of the farm culture. See, the Indus Valley civilization did not come overnight. It is the culmination of a great agricultural revolution, a farming community, a Neolithic cult. So the Neolithic cults are all really flourished in the Mediterranean and Central Asian region. And these are the people who found irrigation. These are the people who found an agricultural technology. So when the agricultural progress, there is something called BMAC area, near the Indus Valley area. From there it flowed. So when it was flowing, we are also talking about this name. See, on this name, not necessarily Tamil etymology. I am not even guaranteed that Korkai means this, Vanji means this, Tundi. It may be belonging to the original genome of African name. God knows. I am talking about who came this name from that location to this location. Only.
My question is that we have a name there called Chola. Right? How do we know that this place got the name during Indus Valley times?
Yes.
It's the current name, right?
It's the right question. Now, that is the reason. That is where we are able to apply. When I told that my approach to this particular research is logical. I am guided by the law of probability. And then I try to understand. Suppose if this particular name, suppose that I come across one name called Pandi, or a Chola, or a Tundi, I would ignore. The question is that it's too enormous to be coincidence. See, this name come in two ways. Okay, there is a Chola, here is a Chola. Both are unconnected. There is a Korkai, here is a Korkai. Both are unconnected. This is one possibility. Second possibility, both are connected. There cannot be a third possibility. So that means the first possibility, I toiled with that idea. I struggled with this evidence for last 8 years. It's not that I come to speak this particular evidence after seeing the next 1 week or next 1 year. 8 years I have taken to validate it. Small micro studies, because it is too good to be. It's so enormous, it cannot be coincidence. Then the question is that how that particular name was in the Indus Valley period. Suppose this name was a post-Indus name, or the Aryan literature, or the Vedic people have arrived in the Indus area around even before the collapse of the Indus Valley civilization. These names must have entered the Vedic literature. Because I am telling you, I have done another study called the Vedic name index. I created a computer database putting all the Vedic names, place name, king name, enemy name, rishi name, every place name. I have put it on Vedic names and analyzed it. In the Vedic talks about Vachi, Vedic talks about Sambara, Vedic, who is the Vedic enemy, who is the Vedic hero, where is the location, I analyzed. Nowhere, Korkai, Vanji, these kind of names which figure in Sangam literature, it is not figuring before the period of Chandragupta Maurya, before Asoka's inscription, before the Karavela inscription in Hathikumpa in Bhubaneswar, it is not appearing. So that means in the Vedic literature, it says, on the arrival of Aryans, they find there all the towns have been deserted already. They call it Arma. It's the places which has been deserted. The towns which has been deserted, they are saying that there is nobody is living. Everything has been deserted. By the time the Vedic Aryans came, this place has already been deserted. So that is the reason you are not finding these names in any literature. So that means I am by circumstantial evidence. See, in the research you always to create here. Suppose how I build up a logic. A poet from Madurai Marudan Ilanaganar, he talks about a Otaham camel eating a bone in a wild and natural environment, not in circus tent. So my question is that, where he got it from? Because, see, I'm telling you, the beauty of the Sangam literature is that a description. They give a real life, painting-like, art-like description. But that description cannot come unless there is a oral literature, collective memory, unless you come through it, unless you walk through it. Unless I have walked through a Otaham eating bone, I will not write. And I tell you, in Konarak, how I went for Konarak is that in Konarak I found one giraffe. There are 2 giraffe, excellent sculptor of a giraffe in Konarak. People have written any number of articles, they have justified. They wrote that Oriya sculptors, how they found the giraffe, and then they did not know how to answer it. Because whether giraffe must have been seen, then I went to the giraffe literature and found a giraffe is located in native place only in Africa. An attempt was made to bring into Asia by a Chinese emperor sometime in the 8th century. The ship capsized. So there is a Chinese chronicle write, the first attempt to transport a giraffe from Africa into China was a failure. And then there is nowhere it figures. Suddenly in Konarak is an excellent giraffe. That means a giraffe, unless a sculptor has seen it, he cannot create a giraffe. Then I went after that. And I took me to the Sunversity cult. So that way, nobody was not seeing camel eating bone in the desert and would not be writing that.
I think
thank you very much. Thank you for this question, Gary. I like to thank the Library and Head Mahadevan for this excellent encouragement. I consider this an excellent, rare privilege to be making this presentation. Thank you very much.
And spellbound definitely this is a breakthrough, and I would like to thank on behalf of you and on behalf of the trustees of this library, Mr. Balakrishnan for delivering this wonderful lecture. I also want to thank Dr. Mahadevan for introducing him to us, and this is going to go into a wonderful team now. We're going to take this research much further ahead, and thank you all for coming. And we're going to have some more lectures next week. I'm starting 16. This is part of an industry celebration. If you have not left your address, please give the address. We will post the invitations. Thank you all for coming. Thank you.